Jrue Holiday is more than just a regular point guard. He is the team's best perimeter defender and one of the most versatile players in the NBA. Removing him from the roster might seem like a financial move or an attempt at restructuring, but can the Celtics maintain the same defensive identity without him? The team's trademark in recent years has been its suffocating defense, the ability to neutralize the opponent's best players, and turning games into physical and strategic battles. Without Holiday, that DNA could be lost. Defensively, Holiday isn't just an elite defender, he's a game changer. His combination of strength, wingspan, intelligence, and court awareness makes him one of the few players in the NBA capable of shutting down both explosive guards and physical wings with equal efficiency. In a conference that still features names like Donovan Mitchell, Tyrese Haliburton, Damian Lillard, and even Jalen Brunson, Holiday's absence could expose gaps the team isn't ready to cover. Boston has a strong collective defense, but removing its most reliable and versatile piece could create a ripple effect, overloading other players and exposing weaknesses that had previously been well protected. Furthermore, losing Holiday isn't just about giving up an elite defender, it's about dismantling a system that worked. During the 2024 championship run, he was the one who put Luka Doncic in trouble, who disrupted the Miami Heat's offense, and who made life miserable for Tyrese Maxey and James Harden. And now, are the Celtics truly ready to sacrifice that advantage? If Holiday is traded, the Celtics would have to rely even more on Derek White and Peyton Pritchard. And let's be honest, that's not an easy problem to solve. Derek White is a spectacular player, and few would dispute his importance. He is an elite defender, has one of the best three-point shooting percentages on the team, and has already proven to be clutch. But can he handle the responsibility of guarding the best opposing guards all season while maintaining his offensive production? After all, what made the system so effective was the ability to alternate between him and Holiday on defense, allowing both to stay fresh for crucial moments. And what about Pritchard? He is an excellent shooter, full of energy, and never shies away from the moment. But there's a big difference between being a complementary piece and being an essential one. Can the Celtics trust him for 25 or 30 minutes per game in a playoff series against teams like the Milwaukee Bucks or the New York Knicks? His height and wingspan limit his defensive impact, and forcing him to guard bigger and more explosive players could expose his weaknesses in a way that is impossible to ignore. There's also the issue of wear and tear. With Holiday, Boston has a more balanced defensive rotation. Without him, White and Pritchard would have to take on larger roles, which could affect their performance over the course of the season. In the playoffs, every detail matters. A less efficient defense could mean more minutes for Tatum and Brown chasing opponents, increasing the risk of injuries and compromising offensive efficiency. Is that a risk worth taking? Jrue Holiday has something that few players on the roster possess: proven experience in high-stakes moments. He has been there, felt the pressure, and delivered on the biggest stages. His track record speaks for itself. He was a key piece in the Bucks' 2021 championship and in the Celtics' 2024 title run. In big games, his composure, intelligence, and ability to make the right decisions under pressure make a massive difference. And here's the key point: the playoffs aren't about who has more talent on paper. They're about who executes better when the game is at its most intense. Who do you want with the ball in their hands when there are 20 seconds left and the possession could decide a series? Who do you want defending the last shot against an inspired Jalen Brunson or a Damian Lillard determined to end the game? Holiday has already proven he can be that guy. What many people underestimate is the mental impact of having a player like Holiday on the team. He is one of those guys who instills confidence in everyone else, who elevates his teammates just by being on the court. The Celtics might be about to give up that security for financial reasons or an attempt to reshape the roster. But will this trade still seem like a good idea when the team is in the middle of a grueling series, desperately needing someone who has been through every possible situation? If Boston truly wants to maintain its championship aspirations, it needs to think carefully before parting ways with Jrue Holiday. Trading a player of this caliber isn't just about adjusting the roster, it's about completely changing what made this team a champion. And when the playoffs arrive, That decision could come at a steep price. Can the Celtics really afford to lose their most talented center since Kevin Garnett? Since Kevin Garnett's retirement, the Boston Celtics have had several solid centers, but none with the offensive talent and skill set of Kristaps Porzingis. In recent years, the Celtics' front court has been occupied by players like Al Horford, Robert Williams, and Daniel Theis, competent athletes, but none with Porzingis' scoring ability and versatility. Now, as the team considers moving on from the Latvian big man for financial or strategic reasons, Boston may be on the verge of making a mistake that's hard to undo. Porzingis offers something rare in the NBA, a 7.3 center who can stretch the floor, block shots, and create mismatches for opposing defenses. His perimeter game forces defenders to respect him beyond the arc, which opens up driving lanes for Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. Additionally, his ability to finish at the rim gives the Celtics an offensive weapon they didn't have before his arrival. But it doesn't stop there. Defensively, Porzingis has his limitations when facing highly physical centers, but his length and timing make him an elite rim protector. He allows Boston to play a versatile defensive scheme, adapting to different opponents without compromising the team's identity. Trading him would mean giving up that flexibility, something that could be costly against teams like the Milwaukee Bucks and Denver Nuggets, both of whom have dominant front courts. It's also worth remembering that Porzingis was crucial to the Celtics' 2024 championship run. Even while dealing with injuries, he made a significant impact, providing a reliable offensive option and a defensive presence that perfectly complemented Joe Mazzulla's system. So, does it really make sense to part ways with a player of his caliber when the team's goal is to remain a title contender? If Boston is seriously considering trading one of its starters, the inevitable question is, which player would bring the best return? Jrue Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis are both elite players, but they fill very different roles. While Holiday is a top-tier perimeter defender and a solid playmaker, Porzingis is a rare type of big man who can score from anywhere and alter shots in the paint. Historically, centers with Porzingis' skill set are highly valued in the NBA. Championship teams are always searching for a front-court player who can score and defend at a high level because very few teams have true elite big men. As important as a defensive-minded point guard like Holiday is, he doesn't provide the same structural impact as a dominant center. Boston must consider whether it would be making a strategic mistake by prioritizing a potential Porzingis trade over Holiday. While many teams may be interested in an experienced guard to lead their defense, a center like Porzingis could attract even more valuable trade offers, especially from teams looking for a secondary star to pair with their franchise cornerstone. Another crucial factor, the team's tactical fit. If the Celtics trade Porzingis without acquiring another high-level center in return, their front court rotation would be dangerously thin. And that leads to another major concern. Al Horford is already 38 years old. As much as he remains productive, he can't be counted on as a full-time starting center throughout an entire season and deep into the playoffs. He's an intelligent, experienced, and invaluable player, but physical wear and tear is becoming a bigger issue. Luke Kornet and Neemias Queta both serve specific roles, but neither has the talent to be a starting center for a team with championship aspirations. Kornet is a decent defender with solid rim protection, but his offensive game is limited. Queta is still a project and energy player who is unlikely to contribute at a consistently high level. Now, imagine a scenario where the Celtics have to face Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, or Joel Embiid in a playoff series without an elite center. Who on the roster is capable of containing those players? Without Porzingis, Boston's defense would be far more vulnerable to interior scoring, forcing Tatum and Brown to help more in the paint, potentially wearing them down and impacting their offensive efficiency. Losing Porzingis changes everything beyond. The defensive concerns. Losing Porzingis would take away one of the Celtics' biggest tactical advantages, the ability to space the floor with 5 players who can shoot. A front court featuring Horford and Kornet would make Boston's offense far more predictable, allowing opposing defenses to adjust more easily. Modern basketball values versatility, and Porzingis embodies exactly that. He enables Boston to play in multiple ways, whether spacing the floor or dominating the paint against smaller lineups. Giving up a player like that could be a massive strategic mistake.